What if everything you inherited wasn't a gift, but a trap? In an old estate shrouded in secrets, hidden within carefully buried legal documents, begins the journey of a woman who seeks not power or wealth, but the truth. Yet what will she uncover as she digs into the past? And who will stand in her way when an inheritance becomes a battleground? Can honesty survive in a web of betrayal and forgery? Get ready for a gripping story where no one is innocent, and the past is far from buried. The only question is, who will fall first? Setting: upstate New York, modern day. The Carter family estate. It's a gray, quiet morning, 2 days after the funeral of Margaret Carter, David's wife. David, sitting at the massive dining table, flipping through documents, barely glancing up. We'll begin. Margaret's gone, and there's no reason to drag this out. Rachel, opening a manila folder, her voice crisp and unemotional. According to Margaret Carter's final will and testament, witnessed and notarized 8 months ago, the Carter family estate, including the house, vineyard, and all adjoining lands, are to be transferred in full to her daughter, Elena Carter.
Elena.
Surprised, but keeps her expression neutral. All of it? Even the West Ridge development plots? Rachel. All assets, liquid and property, listed under Margaret's name, yes. They are now yours legally. Mike, speaking slowly, watching David. So, just like that, you spent your life building this place, and it's not yours anymore? David, smirking faintly. It never was mine. It was hers. And now it's Elena's.
Chris,
speaking from a corner, uncertain. That's a lot to take in. Elena, did you know?
Elena.
Quietly.
No.
She never told me anything. Rachel, interrupting. There is, however, a clause. Margaret left a stipulation. The property cannot be sold for 5 years. If it is, it reverts to the Carter Foundation. David sighs. She always had her tricks. She didn't trust money in our hands for long. Mike, leaning forward, tense. So what now? We play house on a landmine? Later that evening, Elena and Mike in the vineyard house. Mike, opening a bottle of wine, pacing. You never said your mom had all this under her name.
Elena.
She did it after Dad's second affair. I think she wanted an exit plan, just never used it. Mike, with a slight edge. And now we're in control. But 5 years is a long leash. You planning on keeping it?
Elena.
Sitting, staring at the floor. I don't know yet. Depends what I find. Mike, what's that supposed to mean?
Elena.
I don't believe she left it to me out of love. She left me a puzzle. I can feel it. The next day, Chris visits Elena at the estate.
Chris,
handing her a dusty box. Found this in the basement of your mom's art studio. Letters, old maps, some of them marked private.
Elena,
looking through them. These aren't just letters. They're land surveys, records of land sales.
Chris,
why would she hide them?
Elena,
whispering. Because someone forged them. Flashback sequence begins to emerge in subtle discoveries through documents and legal notations. Rachel, in voiceover as Elena reads a letter. The ridge land was never meant to be developed. Your mother fought to preserve it. But someone refiled the deed 2 years ago. Elena, furious. 2 years ago, that was Mike's first construction bid here. That evening, confrontation in the living room.
Elena.
Staring coldly at Mike. You knew the ridge land was protected, and you buried it. You filed new permits. Mike, you think I'm some villain? Your father gave me the green light, said it would never hold up in court. David, stepping in, because your mother was soft, always trying to save things no one cared about anymore.
Elena.
She cared enough to leave it all to me. Mike, to David. So what now? You throw me under the bus? David, stone-faced. You were never supposed to be part of the equation. Setting, the ridge land, 2 days later. Elena walks alongside Chris, inspecting broken fencing and survey markers half buried in mud.
Chris,
squinting at the old wooden post. These boundaries don't match the maps your mother had. Someone shifted them.
Elena,
sternly. Mike, or someone working for him. They wanted to expand the site without triggering a legal review. Quiet theft, disguised as progress.
Chris,
what do you want to do?
Elena,
flatly. Quietly, before they realize what I'm looking for. Cut to Mike in a bar on the outskirts of town. Rachel enters, uninvited, sliding into the booth across from him. Mike, cold. You shouldn't be here. Rachel, leaning forward. You underestimated Elena. She's not her mother, she's colder. Smarter. Mike, you're the one who buried the clause language in the will. Rachel, I buried it. You burned it. Mike, so, what do you want? Rachel, protection. When she finds out everything, I want my name clean. You're already too dirty to save. Mike, smirks bitterly. I built half that ridge with my bare hands. Your signature made it possible. Rachel, you forged her mother's initials, Mike. That makes you the fall guy. Scene, Carter Estate. Elena confronts her father after reading more of the buried letters.
Elena
slams a folder on the table. You gave Mike access to the original deeds.
You knew they were protected. Why?
David, sipping coffee unfazed. Because preservation doesn't pay property tax. Development does.
Elena,
this wasn't yours to give. David, everything in this house, everything we've owned, it was built on leveraged lies. Your mother knew it. She just hated it.
Elena,
she was trying to fix it. David,
sharply.
She was trying to redeem herself. But redemption doesn't leave the legacy. Ownership does. Elena begins gathering legal and survey evidence with Chris. She finds a missing page from the ridge deed. It has Rachel's signature, time-stamped 2 months before the deal with Mike. Chris, this proves Rachel wasn't on it.
Elena,
it also proves Mom knew. She wrote a note on the back. If this goes through, the land dies with it. Scene, Rachel's office, late at night. Elena confronts her.
Elena,
tossing the page onto the desk. Your seal. Your date. You falsified it before the contract even existed. Rachel silently picks it up, studies it, then sighs. Your mother came to me before she died. She knew I was helping your father. She threatened to go public. Elena, why didn't she? Rachel, she was dying. She thought she'd trap us legally after death. You were the bait. Elena, quiet, furious. Then I'll do what she couldn't. I'll bury every single one of you in court. Back at the estate, Mike waits in the dark. Elena enters. He's drunk, staring at a fire in the fireplace. Mike, You want to burn it all down? You'll burn with it. You think any of them will back you once it hits the papers? Elena, you forged my mother's signature. Mike, and your father paid for it. That's how this family works. Loyalty for leverage. Elena, not anymore. Mike snaps. I did this for us. Elena, you did it for control, just like my father.
Elena, voiceover.
They built this empire on betrayal. I'm going to tear it down, stone by stone. And what remains, if anything, will finally belong to someone honest. Setting: County Courthouse. Early morning. Elena stands before a judge with Chris by her side. Mike and Rachel are on the other bench. David is absent.
Judge.
You're seeking a temporary injunction against further development on Ridge land?
Elena.
Yes, Your Honor. The land was transferred under fraudulent pretenses. The original deed includes environmental protection clauses that were bypassed through forged documentation. Rachel, interrupting. We have no record of the original deed being active at the time of development. The current documents are valid and approved.
Elena.
Because you helped destroy the old ones.
Judge.
Pausing. This isn't a trial yet, Ms. Carter. Just a petition. I'll review the documents. For now, development is paused for 30 days. Mike, to Rachel, muttering. You said the paperwork was gone. Rachel, you said you burned everything. Apparently, your fire missed a few corners. Scene: the Carter estate. David watches news coverage of the court hearing on mute. He turns it off and calls someone. David, into the phone. We need to move everything out of the Ridge office.
Now.
I want no trace left behind.
Pause.
A beat. And send the envelope. She's forcing my hand. Later that day, Elena opens a package at her mother's old studio. Inside, a copy of a private contract between David and a shell company, Carter Holdings II, created to purchase the Ridge from under Margaret's trust. Chris.
Jesus.
He bought the Ridge from himself?
Elena.
Through 3 layers of proxies. He laundered the land. Chris. Why send this to you now?
Elena.
He wants me to know what I'm up against. That this won't be won in court alone. He's playing a long game. Scene: Mike sits alone in the house he once shared with Elena. He pours a drink, then smashes the glass. Mike whispers to himself, I built this. I gave it life. And she's gonna kill it over principle. Scene: flashback. 3 years earlier, Mike meets with David in a private golf club lounge. David, you want her? Earn her. Build something of your own. Ridge is untouched land. You bring me permits. I'll back you with funding. Mike, it's protected. David, not anymore. I own it again. Paperwork just needs simplification. Mike, what about Elena? David, she doesn't need to know. Not yet. Back in the present, Rachel visits Elena at the Vineyard house. Rachel, I came to make a deal.
Elena.
You're a lawyer, not a negotiator. Rachel, I was both until your mother got sick. Then I became your father's puppet. But I want out.
Elena. Why now?
Rachel, because when he falls, he'll drag everyone with him. And I'm not going to prison for his legacy.
Elena.
Slowly. So you'll testify? Rachel, if you can guarantee immunity, I have files, emails, signatures. You'll have the full chain from David to Mike to the forged Ridge deed.
Elena.
You were in the chain. Rachel, which means I know where it ends. Scene: David receives a visit from Chris. Unexpected. Tense. David, surprised.
You?
I thought you were just the boy with a crush. Chris, I still am. But I'm also the one who found your fallback shell company. David, you think this is a war you can win? My daughter's going to learn what it costs to own the truth. Chris, she already knows. She's just deciding how loud she wants to say it. Later, Elena and Chris review Rachel's files. Inside is a document David never expected her to see. Margaret's first will, unfiled but signed. In it, she left everything to charity.
Chris.
This changes everything.
Elena.
It proves her final will was rewritten. Forced. This is the version she intended. Chris. Which means your father had a hand in suppressing it.
Elena.
Which means this house, the ridge, all of it, doesn't belong to me. Or him. Final scene. Elena calls David. He answers.
Elena.
I found the original will. David. Quiet for a beat.
So.
That's the weapon you've chosen.
Elena.
It's not a weapon. It's her voice. You buried it. David. I buried what was necessary to protect our name.
Elena.
Then I'll make sure the world knows what it's really built on. Setting. Courtroom. 3 weeks later. The final hearing. Rachel sits beside Elena as a cooperating witness. David and Mike sit on the opposite bench, each with separate counsel. Tension is thick.
Judge.
Let's proceed with witness testimony. Rachel. Confident, controlled. I was the legal executor of Margaret Carter's estate. I knowingly submitted a modified version of her will, under pressure from David Carter, replacing the original, which left the entire estate to a charitable trust. David interrupts. Objection. This is unsubstantiated character assassination. Judge. Sternly. Mr. Carter, you'll remain silent until cross-examination. Rachel continues. He threatened to destroy my career. He promised protection, influence, and money if I helped bury the truth. And I did. I helped forge property deeds, misfile ridge ownership records, and falsify notarizations. I have the originals here. She places a sealed binder on the table. The court goes silent. Cut 2. Outside the courtroom. Press and protesters gather. Reporter, voiceover. Shocking developments in the Carter estate case. Allegations of widespread fraud, forgery, and coercion surround one of the region's most powerful families. Scene. Mike's construction office. Cleared out, abandoned. He receives a court summons for conspiracy and fraud. He doesn't react. He just stares out the window. Mike, voiceover. I thought power was something you built with your hands, but it's paper that buries you. Scene. Elena and Chris stand in front of the ridge land, now under a preservation order.
Chris.
You could have kept it all. Walked away the rightful heir.
Elena.
It was never mine. She didn't leave it to me for comfort. She left it to me for war. And now, I'm done fighting. Chris. What will you do?
Elena.
Turn it over. To the trust. Let the land breathe again. Let it outlive all of us. Scene. Final court ruling. The judge reads aloud. Judge. This court finds sufficient evidence to declare the will submitted as invalid. Margaret Carter's original will, leaving all holdings to the Ridge Land Conservation Trust, is hereby reinstated. All development permits on Ridge Land are revoked. David Carter and Michael Reynolds are ordered to stand trial for fraud, coercion, and conspiracy to falsify estate records. Scene. Chris and Elena walk together down a trail through the ridge, overgrown with wildflowers and fresh spring air.
Chris.
You know, your mom used to walk this path every morning. I'd see her from my window.
Elena.
She loved this land more than she loved anyone, even me.
Chris.
Maybe. Or maybe this was how she showed her love. Quietly, without reward. Elena, smiling faintly. Then I'll try to love it like she did, without needing to win. A plaque is installed at the ridge's highest point. It reads, "In memory of Margaret Carter, who knew that what we keep is nothing compared to what we leave untouched." Elena walks away into the trees, alone, but lighter.